Wow, it has been a long time since I've been on here, and this is going to be awesome because I'm going to try to get it so that I can maybe pop out this chat here. Yes, pop this chat out here. I don't do this live stuff very often, so everybody, I'm excited to be here and to get everyone updated. Especially if you're watching this later, we're going to cover a lot of different market related things here, and hopefully everybody will be able to come on in throughout this video and start asking questions. But what a wild market it's been. It's been absolutely nuts for everybody in every different what in the world. It looks like Wall Street Bets has its own coin right now, and didn't know about that yet. But I know a lot of you guys have jumped over from my channel basically a couple different times. I started with horse racing and did a few videos. Got a couple hundred people back then, and then I did fishing along with Bitcoin, which blew my channel up. And now I've and about 2 or 3 years ago, I got out of Bitcoin, the last big run up, and I got out. I got lucky. I got out. Anywhere between 12,000 and 18,000, and but now looking, and I was able to put that into my new business, which you guys all follow my channel. You guys have been seeing what I've been doing, and let's see here. There's Robert. Robert's a long-time viewer for me. I really do appreciate all of the time that I have taken to talk with Robert. We got interested in all of these a long time ago. A lot of the people that are in cryptocurrencies and that I'm talking to right now, you might not be, you probably didn't watch my channel as much, especially if you're not into growing, or anything that I do on my channel now. But you probably have been still involved in the markets, which has been pretty crazy here recently. We've seen all sorts of things coming out of this place, especially, which I'm going to talk about, because this is not the first time that we have even seen. Hi, Angel, Angel Dust, sir. This is not the first time we've ever seen markets acting in this fashion, and this is a very advanced basically move in the markets where it's all about supply and demand, and like I said, pump and dumps have been around for a long time, but this is a little bit different, because usually pump and dumps are don't have a large a 6 million. This is where I'm getting this number, is 6.5 million following community, and I don't even follow them. So it's it's a definitely a really large well, what started out as a small group of fans of some of these stocks like AMC and GameStop. I don't know why I don't have GameStop up here yet. I personally like the AMC a little bit better there than GameStop. GameStop got a little bit too rich there once it started getting over that 60 number there. But this has been interesting. We have we have a lot of people that have watched these, especially if you've been in cryptocurrencies since 2017, you've seen these pullbacks. The biggest risk of Bitcoin are the Bitcoin crashes. Bitcoin it doesn't, it's not very friendly when it crashes. Bitcoin usually goes down 80 to 90% every time that it crashes. Then it rallies. It ends up rallying, 500 to 1,000%. And that happened with when we saw Tilray and the marijuana stocks, and we saw this happening. We see this happen almost on a yearly basis. But this was a pretty sophisticated move. I think some people are probably going to go to prison because of it, but it doesn't mean that it's over. And with technology nowadays and the ease of transferring money around, um, there's definitely like a big tide of money, and it's growing, just like it did with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. When these things soar, all of your guys' account balances get a lot larger, and therefore your big tidal wave that you're throwing at these certain assets with low supply, have no choice but to surge. So that's kind of interesting, because I think that's what's going on when we talk about this little group attacking the short sellers, and they happen to be, um, companies with relatively low floats, and definitely they used to have low market caps. We saw the same thing in 2017 with the cryptocurrency market. We saw the same thing with the all sorts of altcoins that decided to do the same thing here, where they soar up and then they crash. But ultimately, like, if you look at some of these things today versus when we looked at them in 2017, they're at higher prices, almost all of them now, as they have back. So it's almost as if there is a large, wave of basically, I feel like a large wave of, I would say, maybe investors, smaller investors. I feel like those that were around in 2017 and before cryptocurrency days, y'all might have been, pioneers to what a lot of a lot more people are starting to catch on to, because a lot of these people are probably millennials, or definitely 30 and under, 40 and under, and they're jumping in, and a lot of unemployment money this year, and a lot of PPP money got given to a lot of people as well. And so a lot of people had savings, and a lot of people had money that was sitting there, but now they all have these little apps on their phones. And uh, when we talk about the apps, being on their phone, oh, let's see if this works here. Let's see if I can say hello to everybody. Hey everyone. It's me. You can kind of see me there. So that's cool. I'll show my face for this one. It's always good to see a face. I do miss all you guys from the old trading days. It certainly was definitely, I mean, it was awesome. You guys all built my channel. You guys helped me get launched in what I do now. I am blessed to work around, something that gives off very positive vibes and energy, and everyone that is really excited, about the channel that I have now. You guys are probably gonna have to get into some of this stuff, whether you like it or not, because right now it seems to be. So not only did this Wall Street Bets company, start, or not company, little group on Reddit. They used to have only 600,000. Now they have 6.5 million. They're adding like 500 people a minute. It's crazy. But what's happening is these people are now, going to grow, and they're going to go viral. And if you haven't heard of what's going on, everybody pretty much has. It's the hottest thing since the inauguration, and it is something that the Main Street and the Wall Street retailers, anybody that reads the media, they're attacking Wall Street because they believe Wall Street was the ones that, are getting bigger bailouts, and everyone's only getting a $600 check. So how is that fair, right? So everyone kind of is in a viral movement to stick it to the man right now. And the man right now happens to be basically, this channel is controlling who that man is, and they're going after shorts. If you go over here to, I like to use StockTwits sometimes, but if you go over to StockTwits, you look at all these people that are posting on AMC. You look at all these people that are posting on GameStop. All of it is about attacking a certain company. That certain company, Melvin Capital, was short a lot of GameStop, and they were short a lot of these other companies. And being short basically means you're betting for the company to go out of business, is what they were doing. Because of the pandemic, movie theaters closed down. GameStop doesn't see as much foot traffic. So these smart guys were actually shorting, very intelligent ideas, but this group, Wall Street Bets, got a hold of enough people with enough momentum. Hey, what's up, Big White and Bodybuilder and Shad there? Keep commenting down below. I am reading these on the right hand side, and definitely want to say hi to you all. That once you all get in here, it might take you a little while, but it's basically something I want to try to do more, because this has been a fun year for me. I've been trading stocks along with doing my grow channel, and we've done really well. And I kind of want to jump in here to share some of my thoughts on some of this stuff. So I appreciate everybody that is jumping in, and there's now 12 of you in here, and I hope it continues to grow. So the what I'm talking about here, to jump back into explaining what is going on for everybody, because this is something that I went to school for. I studied. I was in the industry for 6 years after going to school. So I traded even before I went. I've traded in high school, and I've been through I've already been through 3 major crashes, and I've been actually personally invested in the account. I haven't just lived through it and read about it on the paper. This is my passion. So, and this is something that, what Wall Street's Bets is doing right now is actually attacking a very weak area of of the markets, and it's the clearinghouses and the brokerages, and it's not looking very, very good for those two companies right now. And it's really going to be interesting to see what happens here in the next basically 7 to 10 days, over the next couple options expirations. I appreciate it, Big White, since 2018. That's awesome. Like I said, this is almost like 5 years for me, guys. Literally doing, I think it's 5 years. It's got to be 5 years when I started my channel. Almost right now. Probably, like I said, doing horse racing. That didn't take off. Cryptocurrencies took off, and then growing took off. So I appreciate everybody that's in here from those pretty much areas. And if you love fishing, my dad has an awesome fishing video on my channel, and then we've done some fishing videos as well that everyone seemed to like. But back to this market here, this crazy market that I've never seen have happened to as an actual trading attack. So usually what happens is there's some sort of fake news involved here, and with a pump and dump. But really, this pump and dump is all based on true news, and it's a bunch of people that have the same idea together. And what's happening is the good old rules that Wall Street set up all the way from back in the 30s, 1930s. We're not to the 2030s yet. What happened is back in the 1930s, these these rules were set up so that, you know, manipulation and the people that were basically that ripped off a bunch of people during the Great Depression, you know, were stopped. Basically, that was kind of why all these things were put in place, and broker dealers, and you had to start, you know, becoming registered, and everything like that. Well, these rules have 3 days of clearing for their settlement period on stocks, and they've set this up for, like I said, almost 100 years now. And what's going on is the inflows and the money and the amount of volatility in these certain heavily shorted stocks have increased so much that the short sellers are going to be forced out at an extremely higher price with a very, very large loss. See, the problem that they're in right now is that short selling has an unlimited, loss. You actually have a limited upside and for gain when you're shorting, but you have an unlimited loss, and so they can't possibly cap that efficiently when the market is going berserk, and when basically there's no shares available, which is why this so tightly correlates with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically, and why it's one of those that I'm covering now, because this happens once a year where a big giant herd jumps into something with their disposable income, and they actually move markets, and these moves in these markets, they typically, almost always have a big crash in them, uh, um, but during the upside, it is ridiculous gains. We have seen, like, if you were watching Dogecoin, I don't know, anybody in the chat room there got any Dogecoin? Let's see, anybody got some Dogecoin? Let's see if someone's got some Dogecoin out there. And that yesterday, if you had $2,000 in Dogecoin, I think some people were making 20 grand. Like, it was ridiculous. It was up almost in Bitcoin. It was up, I believe. We could go look at it right now because we were just looking at it. I mean, it's still up 373%. So you made 400%. You're up to 10,000. It's just ridiculous. So you guys have to. Let's see here. That'll probably help you guys see me a little bit better. My webcam's kind of terrible, but anyways. So Dogecoin is crashing right now. Well, part of the reason Dogecoin had a big rally yesterday was because everybody's been hearing about Robinhood and their issues and their capital requirements behind the scenes is what's the problem. And this is actually like federal regulations, and it's okay. When I was working at a broker industry, it was Scottrade, and they had, a no buy list, only sell list, with hundreds of stocks all of the time. This is just happens to be a time where a lot of and so rules are going to change because of this. But this just happens to be a time where an app with a lot of small traders is kind of being wrongly attacked, when this is normal practice in the industry. So definitely a big pump up here. You know what happens with pump and dumps. You can make a lot of money. You can also buy at the high and lose all your money that you put in. So that's something, we have to look back in history. This, like I said, happens every single year in some way or fashion. Now, the one thing that's changing this a little bit is this talk about their short interest and the fact that they're going to have to cover, and the fact that they're not covered fully yet, and for the fact that they have a lot of, let's say, a lot of options that are open, a lot of basically they have a lot of positions that they really need to be protecting. These positions are expiring in the money, it looks like, this week. And today was the day that they were all expiring. A lot of them were expiring in the money. For instance, with GameStop and AMC and some of these others that were heavily shorted. AMC got shorted even more today, which is crazy. There's a lot of smart people that are trying to figure out what is going on, but there is a massive group now of 6.5 million people, potentially some with large balances, like Elon Musk and others that have some money, I guarantee you, and they have just a lot of followers as well. But they are in this movement too against Wall Street. So I don't see the move ending just yet. I feel like we have some time. Just like we had some time when we went from 10,000 to 20,000 last Bitcoin run back in here, as you all remember, at the very end and just the beginning of 2018. So this brings me back to this point. Bitcoin has ran up a lot. You know, it's a lot easier for anything to go from 1,000 to 10,000 than it does from 10,000 to 100,000. But it's all about supply and demand. That's what's going on with GameStop. That's what's going on with Bitcoin. That's what's going with all these shorted stocks. And that's why when you go to these little chat boards, you see that everyone's jumping on the same ones. So what's happening is there's becoming a supply shortage, a huge supply shortage, which is why the price is going up. Bitcoin has that same exact factor, that there is a limited supply. The thing is that we got to watch out for is, regulatory issues and regulations, because whenever there's anything like happens, it's usually some sort of regulation from the SEC or from. Okay, I think I'm back. I don't know if I'm back or not. I believe I'm back. Let's see if I'm back or not. Let's change that a little bit there. Since we're talking about some more things here, let's see. I should be back now. Hopefully I'm back. We'll see. I don't know. Sometimes this stuff gets a little nuts. Okay, good. Thanks, Noofly. Noofly. So, now let me go over this a little bit better for you guys, and finish it off here, at least this part. And maybe you guys have some questions. Drop some questions over in the chat there, so I can see if you're still here. I know you guys got questions, but so what's going to happen? So what happened with these stocks is they were about to go bankrupt. These companies were doing terrible in coronavirus. They were shorted by very smart, very large investment funds who also hedged themselves with very large income positions with selling options. Well, so really bad news for them. This little group figured out what price they needed to drive everything up. They drove everything up, and they happened to basically, we'll see what the price comes Monday, but from what I'm hearing, they're going to have to buy a quite a bit of stocks there to fill those options. If I don't know if any of you guys play options very much. Big White, yeah, go ahead and ask. I'm live, man. Any questions you guys have, I will answer them about anything related to what I do here. So what happened is a lot of these guys basically are going to. Oh, this is. Let's see here. This is the guy. Go watch him. It's the Wolf of Wall Street reacts to Robinhood's move, and that's one of the guys you want to definitely pay attention to. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys are needing some, so basically back to the, sorry, I was getting a little distracted there trying to show you guys what was going on here, but go and watch the Wolf of Wall Street guy talk about Robinhood and what's going on there. I definitely want to make sure that you guys do that. So what's going on here is there's a big attack against Wall Street, and I think the whole entire world hates the fact that they make a lot of money and nobody else does, but they seem to do it time and time and time again. And I'm really hoping that this is the people's push against them, and I hope that anybody's able to take advantage of the ride. We have a we just have a moment where I think everything in the world is going to change. We got some grow questions here. Let's see here. So we got a question about CO2. Let me explain a little bit about something about CO2 here, and while we take a little bit of a break here and from the Wall Street bets and the markets here, let's talk a little bit about these the other things I cover on my channel, which is the grow. CO2 is awesome. CO2 is what's going to give me 1 second here. CO2 is what's going to make the plant and the entire it's half of the equation of photosynthesis. So what happens is the photosynthesis process is a pretty unique one. The calculation is, the calculation there is CO2 and light, which is what multiplies everything. So anytime you can increase your CO2, it's worth it for sure. Now a lot of people, they have heaters in the winter, and a lot of people have garage heaters or whatever, natural gas heaters. They have heaters. Well, whenever you're burning that's actually causing CO2. So what a lot of people don't realize is they'll basically have a burner right here for the heat, and then they'll vent that outside, and then right next to it they'll have a burner for CO2. Well, all you have to do is increase the CO2. You just take figure out how to vent that a little bit inside your grow, add some of that vented from your heater, and you don't have any problems there. So during veg, it's definitely worth it for CO2 because your plants are multiplying. They're they're like little squares that build upon on top of each other. So they're really going to sit there, and they're going to start multiplying on even faster and a little bit more quickly with the more higher the CO2 concentration. And what happens with CO2 is also you get more humidity. So something that you can look up is called a vapor pressure deficit, and plants really like to sit in in like this really happy zone, and that's all depending on humidity levels and temperature, basically, and how much oxygen and CO2 is in the air. The more CO2, the more humidity, the more oxygen, the drier it's going to be. Clearly, just like more oxygen with wind blowing around is going to be versus a stale Florida hot day, which is why, Robert, God bless you in Florida, but man, is it humid out there if you're still with us here. So hopefully that helped out a little bit there, talking about that. I'm excited, guys. So what's going to happen basically with some of these uh, some of these investments here are, they're going to get pretty interesting. They're going to they could potentially bankrupt a lot of a couple clearinghouses, and they could need bailouts. And then you know what's going to happen if Wall Street gets more bailouts, right? They're probably going to have to, in order to give Wall Street a bailout, they're going to probably have to give the people more money too, just to offset it. And it should be pretty interesting to see, you know, how the markets react here. There's a lot of opportunities to make money. There is a company called Webull, who I don't know. I can't really drop my my link in there right now because I don't have it saved anywhere. But maybe I can drop it in the description. They're giving 4 free stocks. You can put $100 in and potentially get $3,700. So if you want to sign up with them, I will drop a little link down there for that, for the other people that, you know, decide to watch this later as well. And if they do get to watch a lot of it, you know, I want to teach people. I like education. I wish you know, I wanted to be a professor, but they pretty much govern in universities what you can and cannot teach. So I'm gonna teach people here on YouTube and see how it all goes. So we have we got 11 likes and 8 people in here. I appreciate you all. This is the first time I've done a live stream in a long time, so I'm sure that I'm screw. I mean, I kicked like 12 people out at the beginning of my other stream, and I was searching all over the place. But yeah, if your environment's T-Dub, if your environment's dialed in and just right, CO2, you know, you won't see like ginormous differences. I don't think. Um, it's yeah, I should try to do something like this, you know, on a weekly basis or something. We'll see. I'm getting so busy right now because we're trying to open up a dispensary, and we're trying to get that all going. And then I'm going to start doing some sort of there's actually a little hotel over here in this town, and so I'm going to try to get some promotions going with everything. And there's a lake out here. We're going to sponsor some little parties, you know, soon here in this next year. Hopefully, coronavirus goes away, and we got some big plans coming for everybody. I'm hoping that that'll be fun. That people can come out and visit and you know, get to see some of the action firsthand. And thank you, T Dub. Appreciate you as well. Let's go to this. Let's go look at for all you guys that are still tuning in and want to know a little bit more about that GameStop stuff. So what I was saying basically is there was a certain price that was talked about, and it was $125. I believe it was. I don't remember exactly where it is, but for GameStop it was $125, and for AMC it was $9. As long as we closed above those today, then we basically were going to to be forcing forcing a lot of these hedge funds to buy positions on Monday, and potentially anywhere between 30 and 50 million shares that we're going to have to be bought at that point on Monday. So then you had Robinhood, and you got all these places. If you wanted to know why this coin went soaring to the moon, Dogecoin went soaring to the moon because of the fact that we had a shutdown on Robinhood of all the other things that you could buy, but you could buy Dogecoin. They shut down every single thing and censored, not censored. People are calling it censored it, but they were trying to protect them from buying these bubbles, is what they're trying to do. But they aren't. They're getting called out pretty hard for that right now. And what happened is they censored every single thing except for Dogecoin. Well, you have investors like myself and everyone else in the world that has a cell phone on them, and they might have made a deposit and they went to buy AMC or GameStop, but they couldn't. Well, people have instant gratification, and people go see what the next hottest thing is today, and they would just buy it. Well, that's usually, you know, because those are pumping, pumping, and then they dump usually. But when you get 6 million, 7 million people, that's not even all the people that don't follow it like us that are going there and just looking at the channel. It's these posts and these comments have thousands and thousands of these likes, and these people are only getting more and more money in their accounts. So what's going to happen is their buying power is going to get larger and larger, and it's going to be a they're trying to this is a group that's trying to reestablish the little guy, and it might break the system a little bit. What'll happen is, just like in March when there was nobody that wanted to buy these assets, the feds had to step in and bail them out, and that'll happen again until the next go around comes around, and that's if it does break, or it could just crash into a bubble. We've all seen what this looks like, but there's no telling how big and how popular this can get over the next couple weeks. So I hope that helps a lot of you out. I hope that some of you, anybody new that just joined in, got any questions, feel free to ask. I'm trying to answer as many questions as people are joining, jumping back in and out. And I'm also trying to talk a little bit about what's going on with these crazy markets, and why these crazy markets are not only soaring, but they are they're changing history. And it's not a normal, this is not like what everybody is saying. Yeah, he could be, Elon Musk is a scammer. Yeah, he could be. Sure, he could be. But he can also be very intelligent, and maybe he just knows how to think outside of the box. Someone just said Elon Musk is a scammer, and I don't think he's necessarily a scammer. I believe he's a brilliant man who has a lot of brilliant ideas, but he also knows how things work. Boxers are briefs. Well, I like boxer briefs. So both. You gotta be hip in this fancy new days. That's what all the Calvin Klein models wear. It's a good thing I'm not one of those, though. I probably wouldn't have all the brains. So back to what's going on with these guys. I mean, look at this. This Dogecoin is crashing. So like I said, we're going to be opening a dispensary here probably around 420. We'll have it have our stuff over there at the dispensary. Now, we do want to make sure that we are, we're covering some of these things because this is, like I said, what I used to cover. Um, so Raj wants to know some about coins uh, and let's go back to some coins. So when you're talking about coins, one coin to obviously get and hold, I've always been a fan of all of them. Once you get into Bitcoin and you're around Bitcoin for a while, you'll realize that there's so many other coins, and it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun for you because what will happen is you'll start investing in other coins, and you'll start to dabble in this and that and this and that, and but pretty much you got to get into Bitcoin. Oh, if you aren't, excuse me, if you aren't already into Bitcoin. I do recommend some of these new sites like Webull. They allow you to get into like 10 different cryptocurrencies. That's kind of nice. Um, the problem with this is so right now, my fear with these cryptocurrencies is of one thing. The United States continues to crush their US dollar. And when they crush the US dollar, what will happen is the US dollar will ultimately be replaced because it'll have no value, and they'll have to give out stimulus of something else because and they'll pump, and something else might be a new US current cryptocurrency. And at that point, everyone will want to jump into that. Bitcoin will probably have a decent sized pullback as everyone jumps out of Bitcoin into this new US dollar currency. So that's my fear for that. Now, it depends on if other countries will let them. If other countries don't jump into that US dollar currency and they have no faith in it, then it would be pointless to create because you need a lot of worldwide buying power. That's what's making Bitcoin so holy moly, some of these guys with some of these market values in um wow. That's a big investor, let's just say. That's a big investor. That's a very big investor. Um we're going to see here basically. We're going to see we're going to see this every year. So what happened is this used to happen like every 5 years, where there used to be like these big bubble scams, and whole industries would get hot. Well, now it's almost happening on a monthly basis, and I believe it's going to keep getting quicker and quicker. So you can see things like Bitcoin that are going to be a part of that. It's never going to go away. Bitcoin, Ethereum's one of those ones that I believe is one of the big winners because of the use case. When I was gonna, I developed a white paper and everything for my own cryptocurrency. Never released it even, and I was gonna build it on Ethereum, and there was a reason, because it was gonna be easy, and Ethereum was one of those big stable ones. So that's obviously why they're one and two. That's for anybody. Um, but what's going to happen is there's going to be a supply attack. There's going to be, I don't know, there's going to be a fallout from this GameStop and the short selling, and it might crush the markets. And it might go the opposite way everyone's thinking, because everyone's trying to push the market to, for the little guys and everything. Well, that's not how the rules have been set up, really. Not in this way. So as soon as Wall Street Bets gets taken down and all these brokerage firms get validated on the fact that they're restricting trades by the regulators, because it's really the suits behind these guys that are doing this. The suits are always the ones that control everything. Even in my industry, the suits, are the ones that control everything. Regulations, government guys, the guys that look like the Wall Street Bets guy right there. Um, so we're gonna have a really big push here uh, for a change, and it's all gonna be technology driven, and it's all gonna be. I mean, it could be. I don't know. It's going to be game changing, the way everything works, and um, the way that everything basically works right now. I don't believe it's going to continue existing that way in the financial markets, because there's a lot of littler guys that are demanding access to whatever they want, their own freedom, basically financial freedom, where they can play the game right there alongside of the big guys. And even though they have $5 and not $5 billion, they want the same access. And I think the apps are changing that. I think it's an attack. Um, and I think people are jumping on. This is not getting any smaller. This is definitely getting bigger and bigger as people find out about it all around the world, and they want to be a part of the attack on the hedge funds. It's not. It's not. It's not going to be. And it's not an easy one either. Oh, by the way, guys, I forgot it is the weekend, so we have a tendency always in the crypto markets to have a pretty volatile weekend, um, because of the fact that the craziest part about the crypto weekends is the fact that it's open when the stock market isn't. But and we tend to rally on the weekends also. Breeding, let's see here. Breeding is pretty fun. Breeding. This plant that I work with is a very, very it's a very unique thing, because you have to have male and female to breed, but you can take a female and make her male to rebreed back on herself. Um, the problem with doing that is sometimes you get a tendency to rebreed hermaphrodites. But the cool thing when you take a female and you rebreed her back onto herself is you're going to get seeds that are feminized. So another trick is to take two females that are different, make one male and breed her onto the other female. And that's probably the best way to breed. And then, pop a bunch of those seeds, and they're mostly going to be female, and you can pick out which ones you want out of that bunch. And but I don't know. We're gonna see. We've had we get a lot of our strains from a couple breeders specifically. If you go on and look up Colin with Ethos Genetics, We've got a lot of his strains. He's the creator of Mandarin Cookies, which is one of the high time strains last year, I believe. And I don't know, I like trying a bunch of different strains all the time. Just going through them all. I really like the purple ones. The problem is the purple ones, you know, they typically are shorter. They don't get as big. Um, yeah, there's so many different cannabis cups and stuff like that now. A lot of them are really cool. A lot of these breeders are amazing. Like, if you take good stuff and you cross it with good stuff, like, a lot of the times you're gonna get good stuff. Like, you know, look at but then some of the times you don't. But plants are a little bit more stable if you keep back crossing them onto themselves also. So if you find something that you like a lot, and you want seeds, you can actually repollinate the same plant with the same uh, uh, genetic cross, and you get a stabilization effect that happens. Some plants don't have smell. It just depends on the plant, honestly. And a lot of plants, bugs will mess up plant smells, and a lot of people that are getting plants around the world have russet mites. Um, a lot of russet mites going on. A lot of russets will eat plants, and yeah, you guys are good. That's what I'm here. Oh, major trichomes. Oh, then you're good. If you got a lot of trichomes, then good. It's the guys that don't have a lot of trichomes that their plants are getting eaten by, like russet mites, for instance. Just kind of looks like buds with no trichomes. So the trichomes are good. They sometimes some plants don't have smell. It's just genetics. I got some plants that smell like black pepper. I got some plants that smell like literally cherry lime ice, like and then I got some plants that smell just like fucking dang, oh, excuse my language, probably gonna get banned now for that, but or blocked monetary by that, but some just smell dope, smells like weed, and it's great, but it's really really all about genetics, with the smells. Now, you can make them stickier and smell a little bit better. I use that molasses stuff. That's usually a pretty good. Um, what it has is a lot of micronutrients. So molasses in flour is very important for my smells and stickiness too. So that's important. Let's see here. We're getting a couple more likes here. We got a couple more people in the room. I don't know if people are coming in and out of the room, but we're definitely trying to cover some stuff with you guys, and give you guys a good give you guys a little bit of a show here, a little bit of something to watch here for an hour on a Friday. Talk about the markets, talk about any questions you guys got. I've made a bunch of money doing a little bit of MMA picks and fun stuff like that too, and football. Got a lot of football going on. That actually might keep the that might actually keep most of the crypto action here in the US down. But like I said, China, they love cryptocurrencies, and they love Bitcoin especially. And this 33,000 levels was really important to me. I was gonna do this video, at the beginning of the month, But I just been so busy. I really I really got to get back with you guys because this YouTube stuff is blowing up. I appreciate anybody sharing and liking the video that hasn't already done that. Sharing this so that people can at least come check us out, because if I get more hits on this type of stuff, I'll do more live videos and try to grow this information channel. Like I said, I wanted to be a professor, so I don't mind teaching you all one by one as you come in. I like cocoa the best to grow in. It's the cleanest, and it's literally gonna be the probably be the number one cleanest material that you can find. I like to have a little bit of perlite in it as well, but just cocoa for most people, that's all you really need. And like I said, I always, with cocoa, just keep your pH. You should, if you're being very precise, just keep your pH in a range of 6 to 6.5, and you'll be just fine for most all growing mediums. Um, you guys, so anytime you're using synthetic nutrients, can of A, can of B, they're almost always 1 or 2 part. They're all the same. So I always go with whatever's the cheapest. And I found that Jack's is pretty much the cheapest. For me, Jack's Nutrients. You guys could all buy a bag of their cal nitrate and their 5, 12, 26, and then use the magnesium sulfate, the Epsom salts, as the third part. And it's going to be the cheapest. It's going to last longest. You're going to have the best results. And the good thing is when you mix it, as soon as you mix it within an hour, it's usually dissolved, and its a pH is like 6.3 every single time. So you don't have to mess with it that much. Now, we do have, let's go back to see what these guys are saying here. Yeah, I absolutely do. I always use synthetic stuff. There's no reason a plant doesn't have enough time. It's not like a human where you're trying to make an organic brain. A plant is going to be six, max 6 months. Should be 4 months of growth. So you want it to grow synthetically, just like if we could all use perfect medicines to get our bodies to the perfect, uh, basically nutrients for every day, every feeding, then we would. So fungus gnats are pretty easy to manage. There's a couple products that I use. It's called AgroPest, and it's called Thyme Guard. It's thyme oil, not neem oil, thyme oil and rosemary oil, and those in just and I think there's inside of those is some, it's like a surfactant, which is basically soap, um, and they water with that, soil drench with it, and um, bugs hate that stuff. I like to harvest. I like to harvest basically whenever I need to. Sometimes I'm unable to let them go 10 weeks, but um, you basically want to be somewhere in between getting bud rot and letting them get as big and grow as big as possible. With your, and so basically you want to just, with your buds, like, I tricolor. The longer you let them go, definitely the more. I've always seen like 8 to 9 weeks is like prime time. 10 weeks on some tropical sativa, really long-legged strains, but, and even 8 weeks though for those, for most 9, some 9 weeks. Let's see here. Let's go. I don't like to go to this new stuff. Let's go to the top post here. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Yeah, I'm just trying to help you guys out. Hopefully, you're able to share my channel, and hopefully, you're able to get some more people. Like I said, when I go to the next live stream, I'll have to do another video like I did grow video, and do it preclude it with some sort of updates like this. Um, yeah, you can usually tell with the naked eye if the plant's ripe. It's just like a banana. When it starts to rot, it goes from basically living tissue to dying tissue. And in between that stage, you want like your leaves to die off, but you don't want your buds to start dying off. And they can die not only from the inside, but the outside also. So just like any other produce or vegetable or fruit, um, yeah, if you can, the longer you can wait, the better, but you don't want it to die. You want to be able to harvest it before it's, uh, like, you don't want green bananas, but, even though Walmart, so that's all they sell, but you want yellow bananas. You don't want brown ones. So, so and you'll be able to see that as you're watching them grow. You'll be able to look at the pistils, and you'll be able to look at the trichomes, and it goes from clear to like yellow to gold to brown, and you just kind of want to. And like I said, you also want to check on the insides. If the stems are starting to brown, and like I said, you're starting to see like a mold of hairy mold start to grow inside the buds, you can actually take the buds and like pull them kind of off of not off, but like open them up. If there's no airflow in there, the plant has no ability to sweat and keep moving the water through its buds. Basically, if it doesn't have the ability to do that, then it'll be no good. Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to, I can answer pretty much everything that you guys have questions on in these two areas of growing your stock account, or growing your financial ability, or getting you on a lot of people use what I grow for not only to get off other things, but for their own mental stability. That's why I am such a big I love what I do. Um, so let's see here. I don't know why YouTubers promote autoflowers. It's probably because they're trying to be like cool and try something new, but and create something new. Just like people try to recreate music from the 70s and the 80s, and it's still never really as good as the originals. So it's kind of the same thing with autoflowers. Um, it's autoflowers are very unstable. They're very unpredictable, and people, I think, I don't know, it's weird. People are weird. People, yeah, people are weird. I also think a lot of people grow photos and say that they're autoflowers, and just to make it like, oh my god, I got a big old pound out of an autoflower. No, you didn't. That's a photo, you dum dum. You just flipped the lights. So it's I don't know. It's a hit or miss what I think on those. I don't think that they're ever. I've grown a few myself, They were terrible. Absolutely terrible. I had one that was like okay, but it didn't even get you high. It'll be interesting to see how this all goes down here with all of this. Any other good grow questions? These are good grow questions. Yeah, people are tricky. That's why I do these videos. You know, I do these videos because I wanna help a lot of people to get you know, to get into these other opportunities, because there's a lot of there's so many people out there that are scamming different people, and I think it's really unfair that a lot of people don't have the proper education to take advantage of a lot of like opportunities that there are in different areas. And I think that some people like to jump on certain, you know, trains of hey, look, I'm trying to make myself popular on Instagram, or I'm trying to make myself popular on this and that. Well, one of the things that, you know, I learned is content and being honest, because people will come back. I've been on YouTube for 5 years. People will come back and try to challenge you and what you said, and you know, especially in your comments, they can get pretty interesting if you keep lying, or if you don't know what you're talking about, at least. Uh, Topping and super cropping, you got. I always love topping. It's very important. Super cropping, you could do that at the very end of your indoor grow, especially if you're trying to throw it from flower. Oh, excuse me. Outside into a big you know, big opportunity where you're growing through the summer. Like if you took your indoor plant and harvested almost all of it except for the bottoms, and then pop that, you know, for the summer to re-veg and grow out. But you're going to want to strip all the bottoms and weird stuff, because anytime you send a plant into flower, the bugs just start infesting them if you have any, and any bugs. And most people have bugs nowadays because almost all of these darn dispensaries um, are carrying bugs on their clones, and you know, so it's more about prevention in the industry than, you know, eradication of it all. But yeah, topping is very important. Always top a plant. Always top a plant. I'd rather have a million like medium-sized tops than one huge top, because that huge top, the bigger the tops, the more bud rot on the inside, the more you're gonna ruin your prime buds. Yeah, the little yellow little yellow bananas that come out of the tops. They almost look like a the tip of a burnt leaf, and you'll notice like that when you pinch them off. You can take some tweezers and pinch them out and go open them up. They'll have like this little tiny yellow powder on the inside, and that's the pollen. Man, people are going nuts posting on GameStop. Yeah, yeah, I'd rather, like I said, have a bunch of medium-sized tops versus one giant top. Big nugs are only cool like for like one photo op. They're not really that cool because they have problems. best outdoor strains for cold climates. I have seen anything that jumps in there with some of the Northern Lights stuff or some of the Kushes, because the Kushes are mostly indicas. They actually come from like the Middle East, and they come from the mountains in Afghanistan and over in India, and that whole range there through really colder climates with higher, and the plants, anything that's short and really bushy is going to do really good in the cold climates. And any of those purple